Shalom, shalom, I miss your brother here, Yakana. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Okakodash, Barakadam. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and have taught me this truth. And salutations out there to the hopeful elect, the brothers that are putting this work diligently, sincerely, and truthfully. To you, I want to say shalom, okay? Hey, today's just hopefully a quick transit, edifying, uplifting video just talking about the flesh versus the spirit. All right, we all know that the flesh is our enemy. It talks about in the scriptures about our everlasting chains of darkness. Okay, we are spiritual beings in fleshly bodies. Okay, the spirit, the mind, is always willing to go farther. Is always willing to go the distance. And what I mean by that is it's always willing to be uncomfortable. It's always willing to adapt. It's always willing to overcome. Okay, it's always willing to keep pushing itself. The flesh, on the other hand, is the opposite. It wants to settle. It wants to be content. It wants to be in the comfort zone. It doesn't want to be pushed. When things get hard, the body wants to shut down. All right. When things get hard, you gotta rely on your mind. All right. I tell my guys, I'm a trainer. I tell my guys all the time, you gotta rely on your mind and not your body. Your body's gonna be the first thing to go. All right. When things are getting hard and you're working out for so long, your body's gonna start fatiguing and getting weak. It's your mind telling yourself that you can keep pushing through. All right. When you're struggling, man, you're able to get 1, 2, 3 more reps just because you're telling yourself you can do it. But that's how it is in this truth, in this walk, man. All right. You're going to have days where it ain't your best days. You're going to have situations where it wasn't your best situation. All right. You're going to fall short. You're going to fuck up. You're going to go off. You're going to sin. All right. But it's about overcoming that. All right. And putting your best foot forward and continue to try to strive to get better. Continue to strive to continue in this truth. All right. Be like the turtle and not the hare. All right. We was all young and read that book with the turtle and the hare when they raced. All right. And a turtle is, you can compare that unto like the spirit. All right. And the hare is like unto the flesh. Okay. When they was racing, okay, the hare was out to a big lead. All right. But so far ahead that it got comfortable and dialed it back and fell asleep. Turtle just kept moving forward. It was at a slower pace, but the thing is, he never stopped. All right, and he eventually ended up passing the hare that was asleep and ended up winning the race. Why? Because he kept moving. Because he kept moving. No matter how slow it was, slow motion is still better than no motion at all. All right, when you staying still, you staying stagnant, you can't get any better. All right, the spirit is always willing to get better. That's why it says the flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing. The flesh is weak, man. All right, we live in a society that just relies on the flesh, that relies on your feelings and how you feel and what you go through, and your emotions and your thoughts. All right, are all fleshly driven. All right, you have to kind of dial it back and be spiritual minded. Okay, what will Yahweh Shai do? Okay, Yahweh Shai was a spiritual man, not a fleshly man. We talk about a man that fasted 40 days and 40 nights. That's a spiritual thing. Okay, and if brothers aren't fasting, hey, I suggest brothers do fast, because you can only defeat certain demons by fasting and praying. Okay, if you're having a hard time eating after 12, 16, 18, really 24 hours nowadays, man, all right, up yourself, man, make it harder. If you can't go 24 hours without food and water, you're weak, man. You're weak-minded. You need to up it up. All right, you should really be able to go at least 48 hours without any food and water. Yeah, it's going to be hard. You're going to get headaches. You're going to feel hungry. But that's what it's about. You want to challenge yourself. You want to starve the body. Tell yourself that you're in control of your body. You're in control of your flesh. And you can only do that by challenging it. All right, try to fast at least once a week, man. 24 hours, no food, no water. All right, and get more in control of your feelings, of your emotions, of your thoughts. Overcome them things, man. All right, because real soon Esau is going to use this flesh, all right, against us. And if we're not spiritual thinking men, we're going to lean upon our own understanding and go into a carnal mindset and try to save ourselves and try to lean on the government and try to lean on Esau to help deliver us, when really we got to be faith-minded. We got to be walked by his faith and not by sight. All right, let the scriptures guide us. Let the spirit guide us. Let the faith guide us, and not our carnal minds and own thoughts and flesh. Okay, so the more and more you're letting the flesh take over, right? Is the more the flesh is in charge. You got to let the spirit take over. All right, you got to have control of the spirit of your mind. You got to be able to put the flesh in check. Okay, you got to be able to check yourself. Okay, if a man can't control what goes in his stomach, he really has no discipline or control over anything in his life. Okay, there's no way that Jake should be overweight, obese, fat, out of shape, and allowing his kids to be obese, fat, overweight, out of shape, still eating fast food, still eating shrimp, crab, pork, lobster. Okay, brothers should be working out at least an hour a day, man, 4, 5, 6 times a week, man. All right, brothers need to up it up, man, because it's about to get real out here. Okay, we know that bodily exercise profiteth little, but it's still profiteth. Okay, you're going to definitely have to be in some type of shape in Jacob's troubles to endure the hardness. It's getting ready to come to this place, man. All right, if your body's just used to GMO food and sugars and all this bullshit, and it's no more of that, well, your body's all fucking shut down. All right, you should be feeding your body, fruits and vegetables and nutritions and vitamins, okay, and herbs, medicines of the earth, okay, water, fasting. Shouldn't be having to eat 7, 8 times a fucking day, man. 3, 4 good meals a day should do it. All right, don't have to eat meat every goddamn day. Fast away from meat. Eat meat every other day, maybe. All right. Back in the ancient world, we didn't eat meat every day. That's why the diseases are so high now in America, because you eating meat every single day, 6, 7 times a week. Okay, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Your body's not getting no time to process and break down the meat. The meat takes about 16 to 18 hours for your body to digest. But if you're not giving your body no time to digest it and do what it's supposed to do, then you got a lot of backed up shit in your intestines, in your gut, okay? Which clogs your arteries, which makes your blood flow not as clean. And then you start getting fucking high blood pressure. Then you start getting diabetes. Then you start getting fat. All being fat is just you're eating too many, you're consuming too many calories. You're in a calorie surplus. It's as simple as that. Cut the calories, man. Work out. Okay? Sweat. You were meant to sweat. You have sweat glands for a reason. Okay? You were meant to sweat. Okay? So work out. Sweat. Eat healthy. The body and mind should be on one accord. Okay? That's a false balance where you're so into this truth spiritually, but physically you're overweight. You're out of shape. You can't run a mile. You can't do 20 push-ups. You can't do sets of 10 times 10 up to 100. You're huffing and puffing going up the street. You're huffing and puffing going up the stairs. You can't play with your kids. Okay, that's a problem, Jake. You need to be in shape if you're in this truth, man, because if you're not, that's an unequally balance, which a false balance is an abomination according to the scriptures. Okay, so make sure you're on point with the flesh and the spirit. Okay, and one isn't always above the other. We got to put ourselves in check. Okay, you got to have a balance with the flesh and a balance with the spirit. All right, but you got to be able to check the flesh, just like you got to be able to check yourself spiritually. Discernment, man. Before we check anybody, we got to make sure we able to check ourselves and get rebuked and rebuke ourselves. That way, when others rebuke us, we don't take it no way, because it's like we've been giving ourselves hell. We know the things that we lack. As a man, you should know what you lack. We should know what your weaknesses are. And if you don't, well, you better have that talk with yourself. You better figure it out. Okay? So with that, I just want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kwadash, Barakathum, and double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone who rule well and that taught me this truth. And salutations out there to the hopeful elect, the brothers that are putting this work diligently, sincerely, and truthfully. To you, I want to say, Shalom.